Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel. I'm here for Scrapbook Circle today, and I'm here with my tech tip this month, which is watercoloring inside outline alphas. And I have some really quick and easy ways to do that you don't have to be really careful about coloring inside the lines. So in this technique, coloring outside the lines is actually super cool, and it's also lots of fun. So let's get started. For this layout, I'm using the June Scrapbook Circle kit. It's called Sunshine Days, and specifically I have the Happy Life add-on, which has these Crate Paper Oasis clear alpha stamps that are outline stamps perfect for coloring in. I want to do some watercoloring, so I'm going to stamp them with Ranger Archival Ink, which is waterproof, so you can use any kind of watercoloring medium you want. It's also acid-free, so you don't have to worry about your scrapbooks. I have a clear acrylic block. I like ones that have the guidelines on them so that you can easily line up individual letters like this. So I'm going to take the letters for the word June, and I'm going to line them up with the bottom of the letters on this one line that's kind of like my baseline there. And I'm just doing this by eye. I'm not using a ruler or anything like that to keep the spaces in between the letters perfect, but I do notice that the J was a little bit too far over, so I just moved that over a little bit and then continued to keep it on the baseline as well. And once you have everything lined up and backwards, obviously, because you're going to flip the block over, then you're ready to stamp. So I'm going to stamp the word June across the top of my layout. I'm using smooth cardstock. That makes it a whole lot easier to get a good impression. I stamped off on the paper on the side there that I'm using underneath because I did want to stamp off the edge of the page there, and I didn't want to ruin my work surface. So I'm going across here, and then again I'm going to stamp off the edge. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't want everything super lined up. This is going to be more of a whimsical layout, so not everything is going to be incredibly linear, and I really highly recommend that if you're doing stamping repetitively like that, or if you're using different sizes of tiny objects in your layout, as you'll see that I'm doing later. So I'm going to do the same thing with the word fun at the bottom, and you can see there that I messed up the stamping. No big deal. You just go over with your block and line everything up. It's okay that that one end is a little darker. We're going to watercolor over these anyway. So now all of my stamping is done. I'm going to let everything dry. Then I'm going to take the Tombow Dual Brush pens and a water brush, and I'm going to color over the June in a Roy G. Biv format. So I'm grabbing my orange now, and you can see I am not staying in the lines. I'm kind of making almost like a watercolor highlighter. So it's going over the top and kind of spilling outside the lines a little bit, and I'm just having fun with it. I'm not trying to make this perfect. I just want to get the watercolor down, and I want it to look like watercolor. I don't want to look like it's colored in with markers. I kind of want a more free-flowing kind of summery look to it. So now I've gone in with the blue, and you can see I have little splatters kind of on the outside of the letters just to really make it clear that this is a watercolor effect. For the fun, I decided that I wanted different blues, and I kind of wanted it to look like water splotches over the fun words. So I have 3 different colors of Distress inks. I'll link everything down below so that you can take a look at these colors if you'd like. I'm spritzing the block with a little water after rubbing the Distress ink right on the acrylic block there, and you can see how I'm using the water brush to pick up the color and then lay it down in a really splotchy kind of fun watery look over those letters. So because we used that archival ink, nothing is smearing or smudging, and you can still see the stamping underneath the watercolor, especially when it dries, because it will dry a little bit lighter than when the color goes on. So I'm just alternating these 3 blues. I really like the look of this, and super easy and super quick too, and I love the little watercolor feel it gives. Now I'm going to put the rest of my layout together. I have these clips from the Sunshine Days kit, and I have some die cuts. It's also from the kit. and I'm using some tiny little contact pictures that I actually love to use. And the two adhesives I'm using are Thermoweb's Zots in the 3D and then the Memory Runner XL. So in order to keep the clips and those mini photos together, I put a Zots right on the back of the clip and the photo in the same spot so that it holds the clip to the photo and then the photo to the paper. And it also gives dimension. The great thing about those dots is that they're clear too. I had an idea to use the twine to make a banner in the middle there, but I thought it looked too messy. So I decided to go ahead and tie a bow around one of the clips, and then instead of using it as a clip, just kind of tuck it behind the photo. But I'm using the same trick of putting the dots right over the clip and on the photo so that it holds that clip behind and holds the photo in place on the paper and creates dimension as well. This time I decided to use a little mini staple there from the Tim Holtz mini attacher, and you can see that I'm going through these different elements. Some I am popping up, and then especially the rectangle papers, I am using the Memory Runner XL, which is just a tape runner, so that I have a mix of dimension and flat. I have this little die cut here from the Crepe Paper Oasis collection, and I put some runner on that, and then I popped up the photo above it. And I'm trying to decide here whether I wanted flat or dimensional. So I'm just mixing and matching and making sure again that my clips aren't covering up my photo but are going to stay in place. So that's pretty much all of that together. Now I'm going to just use some of the other embellishments that were in the kits and the add-ons and just add some of the Chamel little epoxy stars, some of the thickers, and that pretty much does it for this layout. So I hope you'll try out this technique of fun, easy, splashy watercoloring over outline stamps. And if you'd like to check out the Scrapbook Circle kits, I will have them all linked down below as well. I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. Have a great day.